Hello, and thanks for joining us on Movie Night Memories. You must remember this, a podcast that focuses on movies and our favorite memories of them. Each week, we discuss the films that are celebrating an anniversary from when they came out in theaters. My name is Sword Alexander, and I'm joined by the inspiration of this podcast, my mom, Tracy.
Yes, that's me, and good evening.
This week, we're talking about movies released between January 12th to January 18th. We have Along Came Polly with a 22-year anniversary, Coach Carter with a 21-year anniversary, and The Dilemma with a 15-year anniversary. First, we're going to start talking about Along Came Polly. It was released January 16th, 2004, directed by John Hamburg, who also was a part of Meet the Parents and Zoolander. It was also written by him as well. While dealing with the fallout of a honeymoon that ends in adultery, a risk assessment analyst finds out that opposites do attract after catching up with a friend who lives in the moment. So this is my first time watching this. Is this your first time watching it?
No.
So tell me about your first time experience.
So I saw this movie when it first came out. I saw this movie advertised everywhere with Jennifer Aniston and her ferret walking down the street, and Ben Stiller following her and acting like an idiot. And they were pushing her in the movie, but it actually is more about Ben Stiller.
Yeah, it's really more of a movie about Ben Stiller.
But when they pushed the movie, because it's titled Along Came Polly, was about her and this ferret. And so all these girls went to see this movie.
Thinking it was going to be kind of like a chick flick about the wild and crazy adventures of Jennifer Aniston.
And they'd show her dancing salsa. So all these girls would go to see this movie thinking it was about her meeting all these guys. But it was it was about Ben Stiller. And we were like, ew!
So that's what we call a bait and switch, if you will.
And we'd go, ew, this is gross. But some of it was really silly and funny. So we made the most of it, but we were shocked. This is not the movie we wanted to go see. But we made the most of it, but it was not the movie that they advertised at all.
This is one of the few cases that we've seen where films really don't advertise what they're actually about in the first place. We haven't really talked about films that have bad advertising or bad marketing or bait and switch.
But this one was. This was the film that shocked me. Desperate. I didn't really want to go see it because it had her with this ferret. It really kind of grossed me out.
Yeah, she's got a pet, and Ben Stiller's character thinks it's a rat, but really it's a ferret. It's a blind ferret, and it runs into walls and stuff.
A few of my girlfriends at the time said, "Oh, let's go see it. It'll be fun. It'll go see it. It's a Jennifer Aniston film. It'll be fun. Ben Stiller. It'll be fun." But I really didn't want to go see this film. But I thought, okay, it'll be fun. Okay, I won't be a stick in the mud. I'll go see it. But I was right.
This is one of those movies that comes out on TV pretty quickly after it was probably in theaters, at least with the quality that it was showing itself as.
Yes.
So with this what, your second rewatch?
Yes.
What do you think of it now? Does it still hold up 22 years later?
It's the same feeling that I got the first time I saw it, except I was not as surprised because I knew what it was. But there was a certain scene in it that I wanted you to see with Philip Seymour Hoffman that we talked about.
Is that the basketball part? Or is that the
No.
the Jesus Christ Superstar?
No. It's the part where they're at the wine tasting kind of museum place.
Oh, that's right. There's this little scene, this like little segment. I remember we talked about it way back when it first came up.
And I had said the term, and you said, what? I said, this is from a film that he was in, that he was not a big character in.
And it was pretty fun. Like, at the time, it was really funny. Now, it's like, out of context, it's not that funny, but, it just shows you how one little joke in the moment can really make a laugh out of it.
Yes.
And I don't really like, you usually don't like toilet humor that much, but that really stuck out to you.
Yes, it did, because
it's so out of nowhere. It comes out of nowhere. So when you don't, you're just as surprised as Ben Stiller's character. We're like, what? What are you talking about? But what really stood out to me when it comes to this film wasn't Philip Seymour Hoffman, although that was a real case. Alec Baldwin really surprised me in this movie.
Yes, and there was a lot of bathroom humor throughout this movie, and I was shocked. I was completely shocked at the time, and I'm still shocked. A lot of bathroom humor.
I liked Alec Baldwin's voice. It sounds like he was trying to play this, what did I compare him to? Walter Cronkite or something like that?
No.
It was like this deep character.
It was
He was
his brother.
He was trying to play a Robert Barone impression. Let me tell you something. I like the way you talk. Raymond. It was ridiculous.
But you could tell he was playing a character that he'd seen in some kind of corporate structure.
Mm-hmm. Very much like a frat boy who's grown up, but still acts like one of the boys kind of thing.
It was one of those car salesmen that smoke all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, a sales manager at a car dealership who grew up, went to the corporate world, but still acts like one of the boys. It's really funny, but really bizarre at the same time.
So gross.
It's almost
smokes all the time.
But
you kept touching him after he touched himself after he urinated.
But you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I think he was the most realistic character in the whole movie. Because he acts the most like somebody you would see in real life.
He was really good in it.
Yeah.
The
little bit he's involved in it, he's very good in it. There's a lot of really... It's more like Zoolander than Meet the Parents, where it's very bizarre characters that you see inklings of truth in real life that's exaggerated. Absolutely exaggerated. It is a simple romantic comedy that relies on, dirty humor, bad humor to get this point across. And it's not meant to be taken seriously. It's meant for you to enjoy it and make fun of how life and relationships work. Me personally, I didn't care for it too much. I thought it was fine. I thought it was okay. Some parts really did not work for me. Others I thought were all right.
But I was, at the time when I first saw it, that's not what I was looking for.
Yeah.
It didn't advertise it that way.
No, it did not. I don't know, it just didn't land for me. It just didn't really hit in the way that I was hoping. I was really disappointed in Ben Stiller specifically. I've seen him in a lot better stuff, and he was really not playing his best in this. He tried, God as he will, he tried, but he was not as charming and enjoyable as he usually is in this.
I think it's the writing.
Yeah, it is. I do like the idea of the opposite attract. I like the way that they meet up and catch up again. It feels very realistic, and it fits very much about how two people who got along at one point in school get along again, and they match. It feels very natural. It's very good chemistry between the two of them, and it just gets more wacky and what you expect from a romantic comedy like this in this era as well.
Right.
This is what was this pre-Wedding Crashers? Wedding Crashers was in 2005, so it's right before Wedding Crashers really hit off.
I don't remember which came first.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was not my favorite film, but it wasn't the. It was not my favorite film.
Well, it was a lot of people's favorite film because it had a $42 million budget, which that astounds me, and it had a $178 million.
It's because all those women thought it was a different kind of film.
We call that dirty money because they advertised it bad.
Well, all these women went to run to go see it, and it was not that film. Mm-hmm. They advertised it a lot, and it was not the film that we thought it was.
Mm-hmm. So, with all that said, what would you give this movie out of 5 stars?
2.5.
Yeah, I give it a 2.
You give it more than me.
Yeah.
And I only said
No, I give it a 2. You gave it 2.5. That's half a point above.
No, I said you. I mean you. Oh,
I rate it worse than you.
Yeah, you.
By a little bit. I would actually. I'm being a little bit generous because it does work. I could see it again if somebody begs me to see it again. It's not insufferable or anything like that. It's just it's not for me.
I only give it 2.5 because there were some good, funny things in it that made me laugh.
Yeah. There's a couple of little subtle jokes in here that I enjoy, like the decorative pillows thing.
Yes.
I mean, I enjoy that as an adult. Now, I wouldn't have cared for it if I was in my 20s and my teens, but now I'm in my 30s. I see it all the time. It makes me laugh. See all those decorative pillows.
I've been through that with people, and it's frustrating.
And he calculated it, and he said, I wasted 2 days of my life every year doing these damn pillows. It's funny. But that's the only really funny thing that's like adult humor.
No, there's a lot of funny things in that
Yeah.
movie that makes you laugh.
Mm-hmm.
The hippo thing, that made me laugh. The hippo thing.
I like that. I did like Philip Seymour Hoffman when he just would hijack the show whenever he wanted to, and like the play he was in, and be like, I feel like being Judas and Jesus. I thought that was pretty. I thought it was silly.
I loved the scene with him in the boardroom.
Yeah.
He was really good in that scene.
That was good. Even if Philip Seymour Hoffman's bad, he's still good. Even when he's bad, he's still good.
He really was good in Almost Famous.
Yeah, he was. He was very good in Almost Famous. He was the best part in Almost Famous, I'm going to tell you that. But, all right, we're going to move on to, next up is Coach Carter. It was released January 14th, 2005. It was directed by Thomas Carter, no relation, and it was written by Mark Schwann and John Gattens. Now, John Gattens is, later on in his career, he ended up writing Flight, starring Denzel Washington, a film that you really enjoy, and a film that I also enjoyed as well. It's so good, I don't want to see it that much anymore, because once you see it once, you don't have to see it ever again.
Well, I saw it a couple of times. That's how well done that movie is.
It truly is. It is something that, if you are a big cinephile, if you love movies that have really strong performances, I definitely recommend. Cinematography too, and it's the really peak award-winning performances and film production. I highly recommend you go see Flight. But we're talking about Coach Carter. Came out 7 years beforehand. It's based on a true story. It's about a business owner and alumni of Richmond High School in California as he becomes the new head coach of the basketball team, teaching his students through tough love, discipline, and determination for them to have a better life. So this film, I never heard of this film until a few years ago. I saw it once several years ago. I would say it's maybe a decade ago, maybe not. I can't quite remember, but I enjoyed it at first. I did rewatch it more recently, a few months ago, and I appreciate it even more. So this is my third time watching this movie, and this is my first time ever really, being able to talk about it. Have you ever heard of this movie before, the podcast?
Well, I think I've seen excerpts from it, but I never did watch it. But I remember seeing some of the excerpts from it.
This was a movie you probably don't see on TV because they had some pretty crass language in the beginning of the movie, and it's also produced by MTV, so they probably had the exclusive rights to it at the time too. This is not a film that you would see on cable because the language is pretty crass at times, and they take it very seriously too. It takes place in 1999. This is a lot of what I really admire about the movie is that a lot of the events did actually happen. It's very akin to Lean on Me, which is another film that's based on a true story about a tough love educator trying to teach his students through tough love to be able to achieve their dreams and their goals.
And the importance of education.
Absolutely. And it's this is a true story where this guy, he ended up coaching an undefeated basketball team after they were just floundering, drowning in loss after loss after loss the previous season.
And they were from a very terrible area.
Yes, a very dangerous and unfortunately poverty-stricken area in California with Richmond. And they started becoming unbeatable. They were an unbeatable team because of the coach in his very serious determination and discipline about making sure these kids not only played the game well, but also took the game seriously. And they were doing very well, but he also signed a contract with all these kids of his own volition that they have to keep up their grades, and they weren't. So he ended up...
not just keep up their grades, be focused on their goals in life, focused on education, focused on paying attention, how to go to college, how to make a better life for themselves and their families.
And they weren't keeping up the educational end of the bargain, so he locks down the gym and says, we're not playing any more games, you're not practicing anymore until you get your grades up. And it led to a huge fallout with
the
community, who really, really focused and were determined to make sure these boys kept playing. And it's a great story. It really is. Samuel L. Jackson plays Coach Carter, and Channing Tatum, it's his first film role ever. He's in this, and he's good. You see little sparks of, movie star potential. That's how I describe it, because you see those little individual pieces of him when he's in here. I just see that spark of, he's got real potential to be in more and to do more. And then, obviously, we see in his career that he does a lot more as things go on. But there's some great actors in here. All the people who play the named basketball players in this movie are excellent, and they really play a very grounded and realistic aspect of what's going on in their real world, too. And I truly enjoyed the movie, and I think very highly of it, especially with Samuel L. Jackson, who really brings this movie home. You made fun of me yesterday when we were talking about it, when I said this is one of Samuel L. Jackson's best roles, and you said to me...
You say that about him in every movie.
I do. I don't mean to. But every time I see him, I'm like, this is one of his best movies, and it is. It really is one of his best movies.
I said you say that about him, and every time you watch him, every time you see him perform, you say, this is his best role. I said, you say that every time, because every role he puts into that character, he becomes that person.
Yeah, I forget that he's acting. He's playing it. This is him. So.
He is a tremendous actor that we really don't evaluate enough.
Nope, one of my favorites of all time. No, without a doubt, I've seen so many of his films, and he's one of my favorites. And he really shines again and again, especially in this one too, because
he was impeccable.
Mm-hmm.
And I rarely say that. He was impeccable in this movie
because you saw layers. You saw different layers of individuals with him in this role.
When that boy came to his door and was begging him to play, and he had blood on his clothes, that, to me, really broke my heart.
Yeah.
It broke my heart.
It really sealed
it. He says, let's not talk about that right now. And the boy kept saying, I want you don't understand, I've got to play. What do I have to do? I've got to play. And he didn't want to hear that. He just hugged him. And because he used to make him do 1,000 push-ups.
Mm-hmm.
And would call it suicides when they'd have to run back and forth to get their stamina up, and at the same time to let them know that they had to be dedicated to the game and to the education and to the school.
It's so incredible. The way they filmed this, the way it's written, you could see how much heart and passion went into every aspect of this movie.
And how smart his coaching was when he would have to make them know the plays by the names of friends, girlfriends, his sisters.
And he described the plays.
Because he knows that boys, all they think about is girls.
Yeah.
That's all they think about is girls. So he'd have to say, oh, I had an ex-girlfriend named Linda. Or I had a sister named Delilah.
Named Candy.
Candy. And so these boys, then they would have remembered the plays.
It's because they remember the women that he was describing and talking about.
It was genius. Mm-hmm. Because then these boys could remember the type of play and why that play would work.
Mm-hmm.
Genius.
Yep, absolute genius.
Oh my God. Baby girl just licked my toes.
So, with all that said, do you think this film still stands up 21 years later?
Oh, absolutely. And the way that they filmed it to be at that time, there were some things in the film that was unnecessary.
Yes. I said it very clearly how I feel about it.
And I know it was to get awareness to younger people, the younger generation, about teen pregnancy, about,
There were a couple storylines that did not need to be here. That was purely for the sake of we have to send a message to these kids about the importance of
safe sex
and relationships and like being fair to your partner.
It was over the top.
You're gonna
hitting you over the head.
You're gonna see a teen pregnancy story. I don't think it's true. It might be. Who knows? They don't talk about it. I think it was just made up for it. But it's a true story
but
for others.
It's important to teach and educate people about.
Absolutely. And I don't believe, because we didn't talk about this, I don't believe that the drug dealer storyline was happening to one of the actual named players in it. But
we don't know.
It was, we don't know. But it could have been happening at some point in that point in time. But they're trying to send a message. Crime doesn't pay.
Oh, there could have been several from where they were from. Mm-hmm. Who knows? It's happening. I mean, what's the major focus right now in today's government?
Mm-hmm. War on drugs. It's been like that since the Nixon era. But it was just been like that beforehand, too.
Yeah.
But I love this movie. I really do. This is one of my favorite movies, like my favorite sports movies. I can watch it. This is my third time watching it. I've watched it a month ago, really, as the last time I watched it. And I said to you, like, we should see this. I don't mind watching it over and over and over again. So I would give it 5 stars. You know, I can let away with the teen pregnancy story because it does a decent job of talking about what's needed to be. Could it be removed? Yeah, but to me it doesn't really bring down the film enough for me to bring it down to what I think is utter perfection, especially for a film that was produced by MTV.
I think the dancing, which I don't call dancing, the dancing and grinding, it was unnecessary. But that's just me.
But that's how she got pregnant.
No, that's how she got pregnant again.
Yeah.
No, she wasn't pregnant, or she was pregnant.
She was pregnant at the
that's
time.
That's right. She was pregnant. No, anyway.
Yeah.
It's just there was so I can't give it a 5 because of those scenes. That's just me. I think it was some of the music I didn't enjoy. Mm-hmm. That's just me. I like different types of music. So I give it a 4 because of that. Mm. But I loved the movie. It was so much like Lean on Me.
Very much.
So
much. But not in a rip-off way. Because not only because the story was true, but also because, you know what? When there's a way about doing movies right when it comes to taking inspiration from other films, and there's a way about doing them wrong. And I think this one does it right. And it also happens to be a very similar story because these two things actually happen.
That was East Coast, this is West Coast.
Exactly.
That was sports, this is a whole school.
Yep.
It was not done in that, it was just very similar storyline. Mm-hmm. So I applaud it. I really do. And I think those types of stories need to be told.
Absolutely.
I like to see more of those.
Me too.
And they have those types of storylines very short on GMA a lot.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to go over to one more film. Actually, we forgot to just mention, too, that this movie had a decent budget, at a $30 million budget. Like I said, it was produced by MTV, and it ended up doing very well in the box office. It did $76.7 million.
Yeah, I think there were trailers. That's why I think I saw excerpts, or it was mentioned on GMA, or, it was marketed.
Yeah, and I'm sure there was some kind of press tour with Samuel L. Jackson and, talking, because they met with Ken Carter, the real Ken Carter as well, and his story and everything. And I almost forgot to say this to you. So between the time he was coaching, the entire time that he was coaching the team, it was said on some of the research that I did that every one of his players graduated from high school when he was coaching those teams, from the time he was coaching up till 2002. And then he ended up moving on.
Oh.
So very commendable. Anyway, one last film we're going to be talking about, The Dilemma, released January 14th, 2011. It was directed by Ron Howard and written by Alan Loeb. Two best friends and business owners for an auto design firm are tested when one of them sees the other's wife having an affair. From there, a series of secrets and lies unravel the web of friendship as this comedy takes a twisted, action-packed turn. So I've never heard of this one before. I really haven't heard of this one before. You have, though.
Yep, I saw it.
So you saw it on TV, right?
No.
Or you saw it in theaters?
I thought I don't know. I think I saw it. I remember seeing it when it came out. But now I'm trying to remember if I saw it in theaters or I saw it at home. I think I saw it right after it came out. Because it didn't last long, I don't think, in the theaters.
I don't think so.
So I think I saw it right after it came out on TV.
So what was your first experience watching it?
So when it advertised like it was a guy sneaking around looking for the dilemma. I remember the name, and that it showed Vince Vaughn sneaking around. Like he was sneaking around looking for some secret thing. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was going to be funny because it was Kevin James and Vince Vaughn. That's why.
Yeah, those are two leading comedy actors that we've been watching for the last 10 plus years.
I thought it was going to be a funny comedy with them, and Vince Vaughn was involved in some kind of espionage or some kind of secret thing. So that's why I wanted to watch it. And when I started watching it, it was something else. Then I realized it was about an affair with Winona Ryder. That's when I realized that.
Yep. So we have Vince Vaughn, Kevin James, Jennifer Connelly, who's Vince Vaughn's girlfriend, and Winona Ryder, who's Kevin James's wife. And while Vince Vaughn's character is trying to figure out a place to propose to Jennifer Connelly, he ends up seeing Winona Ryder meeting up with Channing Tatum. Who else but Channing Tatum we were just talking about? And it turns out she's having an affair. And later on he confronts her and says, "Listen, you can't do this. If you can't, I can't." He's struggling to figure out if he can tell his best friend, "Hey, your wife's cheating on you. I'm sorry." Like, he doesn't know if he has the heart to do it.
But did you tell him that, I didn't hear this, but he saw him kissing Winona Ryder, Channing Tatum, in that garden.
I didn't really specifically mention it, but I mentioned that they're having an affair.
Oh, well,
Right. It's important, yeah. No. But, so then he confronts her and says, "You gotta tell him, because I should tell him, I'm the best friend, but you gotta tell him because you're his wife." And she says, "Well, remember that time that we did," and then everything starts unraveling.
But he doesn't right then and there.
No.
That was much later.
Yep, that's much later in the film, because it starts to unravel as time goes on, because, well, the first thing he does that I like is that he calls... Who does he call first, really? It's not his sister.
He calls his sister.
Oh, he calls his sister first.
He calls his sister.
Yes, he calls his sister first. The sister thinks he's trying to drop hints that he knows that his sister's husband's having an affair.
But he went to call somebody else. He didn't mean to call his sister.
Yes.
And somehow his sister answered, and then she thought...
And she thought... It
doesn't matter.
Well, I do like later on when he goes to meet at the bank to sign some loan documents for the firm, and then he asks these three random strangers, "Hey, here's a hypothetical scenario." And he explains the scenario to him, and they're like, "Yeah, you should tell him." Or no, don't do that, because this is really important. You shouldn't tell him until after this important meeting is done. And then he starts trying to get advice. He's trying to figure it out, and it's kind of funny watching that. But to me, that's when the humor stops. It stops becoming a comedy, and it becomes really a drama, a very serious, creepy, unhinged drama.
I'd love to talk to Ron Howard about this film, because it's not his usual film.
No. You don't see the Ron Howard style in this. It's very avant-garde-ish in a way, because it's trying to be filmed like a play in some respects. In like a close-up play. When
Vince Vaughn went off.
There's some crazy stuff that happens in here. Do you want to talk about the crazy stuff?
When he gets off and starts saying, "I'm going to burn your face." And crazy person. He looked like a crazy person. "I'm going to burn your face." I almost lost it.
You're losing it now.
You, though, watching him climbing that tree.
Watching Vince Vaughn climb a tree with a camera in the middle of the night. And I keep thinking, as that's happening, I keep thinking to myself, this is supposed to be a comedy. This is supposed to be a comedy. Where's the joke?
And then he got trapped up there while these skateboarders were down there.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. It really is. This is supposed to be a comedy. It's written like a drama. Yeah. Well, we're laughing at it in hindsight, but it's written as a drama, and they take it extremely seriously to a point where it just stops being funny. The whole time, like, none of us are really laughing at this. I get some shock humor that I'm like, "Oh my God," because you heard me saying it a couple times, but the whole time I'm not laughing. This is not a fun time. This is pretty depressing, honestly. Channing Tatum is pretty crazy in this too, and I do appreciate there's some scenes that I told you about, off camera, off recorder, that I really thought were hilarious, and I thought that was really genuine and perfect Channing Tatum acting right there, because it really shows how good he is at being charming and sincere and funny. Those are the parts that's really funny. But to me, they really missed a serious chance to do something really great with this, and I believe the writing just fell flat on its face. And Ron Howard had to, he saw something in this, and he tried making it as good as he possibly could. But to me, it just really fell flat on its face.
Oh, they ruined the ending.
The ending was Yeah.
We rewrote it, remember?
Pretty much, yeah. There's a lot of things that should have gone down that didn't go down properly, and it's very disappointing. So, Kevin James is okay. I like that at first he has a bipolar personality, which I thought was really interesting, and he was very good at it. But then he stops it immediately. I'm like, where's the consistency here? It just really, like I said, it falls flat on its face. A lot of really good ideas that just fizzle.
They went off.
It's like drinking a flat soda after you watch it fizzle up. Like, it's exciting, and then you drink it, it sucks. Like, where'd it go?
They didn't know where they were going.
No.
They went off the deep end.
No. They were trying to tell too many different too many different things, and they forgot what made comedy the funny thing. Like, to me, funny does not come from pain, and there's a lot of parts in here that come from a point of pain, physical pain, and it's that they think that's funny because he got punched in the face. Like, it's not really funny. Mm-mm. Where'd it come from? Why is the
in one minute he'd have a messed up face, and the next minute he would not have. And then they say, "Oh yeah, it's such a mess up," and then there's no mess up face.
Yeah, even the editing fell apart. It all fell apart, and I was very disappointed in it.
Yeah, yeah. So I'd give it a 2.
I gotta give it a 1.5. I really do. You know what? I enjoyed Along Came Polly more, and I can't give this movie the same score as Along Came Polly. As disappointing as that movie was to me too, this is worse. I give it a 1.5. And it interestingly had a budget of $70 million, which I guarantee you went to all the big name stars in there. There's no way they made this movie on $70 million.
Oh my god, it didn't make budget.
No, it made 69.7, and that's only from the DVD sales and the international too. And domestically, it made $45 million. It barely made half of its budget from domestic, and that was where the prime real estate was going to be. That just shows you the movie sucked, plain and simple. Very disappointing. So, oh well, can't have winners all the time too.
But it was good that we watched it.
Yeah, at least we got to give it a chance. You just got to give things a chance, even if you don't know how it's going to go.
That's right.
But thanks for taking a listen with us. It's a great start to a new year. We're going to be going over films between 1968 to 2021 as the year, because previously it was through 2020. Now we're adding an extra year for the 5-year mark. So thank you all so much for listening. Really appreciate it. Happy New Year, and we look forward to seeing you guys, or listening to you and hearing your thoughts next week.
Yeah, and always say, you love your loved ones. You never know about tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. See you next week.